Alright, we're back in the editor. We're going to build what's called the AI graph. I like to do that from one side to the other of the maps so the AI can walk around everywhere. What's the AI graph? Well, let's start building one real quick. Click once, twice. You see this chain of nodes hooking up. And they automatically click together to build. Sometimes they don't if it's too far away. I just put one in between. And it builds a grid. Sometimes it goes around objects, sometimes with vehicles it goes right through. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to cover with these spheres any possible area where somebody could walk, one of the enemies. It doesn't have anything to do with humans, but it sure has something to do with those tangos, because they can't walk around without that. And it's pretty easy on this map. Sometimes when you do hill climbs like this, you gotta get much closer together. See, this didn't hook up. Well, you can delete it and do a new one, or you can use your thumb mouse button to drag it till it hooks up like there. Oh, wow, this is even better than these two. Click, delete key, delete key. The less nodes you need to cover the entire area, the better it gets. It gets complicated on stairs. You want to make short links so they do want to connect. Doesn't have to be perfect, like you don't have to have one right in here, even if you want to put a guy in there that has an MG. Those guys don't even walk anyway, but this whole this circular orb around it is where people can walk around easily if you have just a node somewhere in the vicinity. They'll even walk into this building without doing this, but you know, it sometimes seems to help for them to have these nodes back here very tight. See, I did the little grab and move here till it snaps. On staircases, that is very important. It's very difficult to go up staircases or something like this here. There seems to be a dividing wall and it doesn't want to connect here. It will go there, but it will not connect with this guy no matter what I do. The good news is, as long as this AI graph is permanently connected, every node has to be connected to some other node. You don't want to have a node somewhere in an island there, because that can cause problems when you export the map. As long as they're all connected with some link somewhere, they don't have to necessarily go through where you would go through. It is enough for the AI to latch onto the other side if that side is actually connected somewhere else. It's just a valid part of the AI graph, and it doesn't cause problems that way. So I'm doing this a little early in the map because this map doesn't have a lot of stuff on the ground, but I don't know if I'm actually going to use this map for anything, so I'm just going to do the things you need to do when you're done building the landscape. You don't want to add garbage cans and things like that now, because you will actually cover up these things and break the AI graph everywhere if you do that, and that causes problems. So this is a late stage kind of thing you do before you put your actual soldiers on there. Here's a problem with these grass pieces aren't totally level, so they have sometimes trouble latching on. But you can see this is a pretty quick thing if you've done it before. Sometimes don't do them too tight, as really these two don't want to connect. Come on, there we go. And make this all connect back here. Oh wow, we got an extra wall sitting around here that has no business being here. Quick cleanup. Props, click, delete, back to AI graph. Alright. That was left over of my earlier wall building. I noticed at one point that was not done perfectly. Now you can human vehicles on after this. They don't care about the human AI graph. Let me show you getting in the building here, up the stairs. That can be done pretty easily if you just slide it to the point where the line still connects. Right here. Put one up here, 2, 3, and we're gonna just walk out the door to allow these guys to come and meet us. Do we want them to come off the top of the building? Probably. See, the spawn bots block this for some reason, but it's close enough. Here we go, up the stairs. Oop, didn't work. It should work though, there we go. Always put it in the right place. Once you go higher up and they start overlapping in the vertical, it becomes a little more difficult to actually place them. Usually not on this staircase. Other staircases I've worked with, those little guard towers are much harder to do for some reason. But this works, and once we get to the top, I'm going to show you vehicle AI graphs, which is the other type of graph that has nothing to do with humans, but with panhards and hemmets moving on the map. Helicopters don't need an AI graph. They seem to be able to hover around just fine. So here we go. Top of the building. Totally done. So yeah, I'm going to finish this later. If I actually want to make a working map, I really need to finish this. I can't totally slack here, and because there's going to be areas where you can spawn people if you don't finish the AI graph that in the end are not going to be accessible by the AI, and then they're going to stand around and shuffle their feet. They need to have this deeply in the game. You will not see it ever, but you know, these things take time. On a small map like this, 15 minutes probably. Okay, now we're in the AI graph menu that does both humans and vehicles. To get to the vehicle graph, you just hit the N key and you're in the secondary graph. So these are bigger. These are really big orbs. So let's see what they look like. In fact, I always like to go to the first inner ring that they do, not the outer one, just to make sure vehicles actually connect to the next dot. You can't go everywhere with a vehicle AI graph. It has to be big enough for a tank. So single lane road works. I like this one, but sometimes they may just not connect. Like here, you have to move it till with the thumb button again till the line connects, and then you can create a line. You can actually go out in the field here and have something come from back there. No real restriction as long as there's enough space for the vehicle, the largest vehicles, to use that route. It doesn't like underground edges where you have overlapping objects. Like this is a tough one, but it should work here. Let me just move it around a little bit. There, once you can move it, it'll all work fine. And it takes much less time, as you can see, to cover the entire road with, we'll get a pole here, but we're just going out here and have vehicles. There we go. Go around the back all the way to the helicopter, because I may want to have some panhards moving in and out from Zulu, going between these buildings, connect with that road. So if you look up high, this is now where our vehicles can actually go plus minus a few yards off to the side from this graph. But I usually like to have a graph wherever I have a vehicle going. Oops, like here is a mistake. Look at this, I goofed here and we have a hole in the map. I need to cover that up with something. But anyway, this is basically the old vehicle graph thing. I'm going to save it, but for the human graph you still have to go through an export process. The vehicles, it's fine. Let's just do a quick cover up here. Props, we're going to throw some boxes here. Crates are always good. Cargo crate, not very good. I'm going to put construction pile, works too. And a cable reel. And you're going to put a bush there or something and it'll be hidden. Anyway, that's the end of these two segments with AI graph. I'm going to do something else next.